All motivation podcasts are strictly based on opinion. Any facts given should and will be backed up by a source. If a source is not given, then it should not be taken otherwise.
Now I'ma I get it until my numbers call. Till I'm just a name in a memory on my homies' wall. I be moving on, I'm trying to just build my dough up. Till I'm just a snake in my toes up.
Welcome to the newest episode of Motivation Inspired. I am the host, Curtis Moore, aka Curly Mo, or you can just call me Mo. Today's episode is stemming off of the last episode, which was called Lifestyle Vampires. I mentioned in the last episode that lifestyle vampires' biggest prey is those with the hero complex. So today, we are going to dive into the details of the hero complex. Those with hero complexes, or also called hero syndrome, are those that feel that they have to be the hero in whatever situation comes to pass. They tend to look at a situation and instead of sympathizing, they try to figure out how they can solve someone else's problems. This can be from a simple situation trying to be solved by someone with a simple hero complex to a complex issue that may or may not have been created by someone with chronic hero syndrome. Now, I can talk about this because I have somewhat of a hero complex. I have dealt with it all my life. I have been that type of person that always look at the good of someone, and when they're dealing with some kind of problem or issue, whether it's finances or whether they're broken or anything like that, I always, even though I wasn't intentionally trying to, I always had to be that type of person to try to save them, to make them the better person or help them with their situation. Now, what we're going to talk about is two different types of hero complexes, even though they range from small to big. Those with simple hero complexes, or what I call the simple heroes, are more prevalent to trying to solve people's simple problems. They are the ones that try to see the best in people, so they tend to be the ones that get taken advantage of the most, which sounds a little bit like me. They tend to put themselves in bad situations to save others, thinking my situation won't be near as bad as theirs. And I have found myself in that type of situation all of my life. I always had friends or always dated people that had financial issues, or they was dealing with being abused or being mistreated, and I always tried to step in and try to help them be a better person, and it ended up putting me in situations. Here's some examples of those with simple hero complexes, or those that try to help people in simple situations. People that they like, that don't have finances that they need. I've dated women that have had financial issues and they needed some help financially, so I would help them out, and I would find myself putting myself in situation where I didn't have the finances to pay my own bills, but I was trying to be the hero in that situation. Broken people that are or trying to be in relationships. There are a lot of people that get in relationships where somebody has been abused or mistreated or cheated on. So they try to be, or somebody with the simple hero complex, try to be the hero and try to show them that there are good people out there, which there is nothing wrong with that, but they find themselves trying to deal with that person and find themselves in situations that they shouldn't be in. People that don't trust because of being mistreated or abused. I've came across a lot of women I tried to date that wasn't trusting because they dealt with people that were mistrustful. And it ended up putting me in situations where I was trying my hardest to show them that they could trust me, and it weighed on me emotionally. People that don't want to change for the better. Yeah, I dealt with people that was dealing with drug addictions or dealing with sexual addictions. They were sleeping with different people, or they like to spend money, and I was trying to help them out, and I found myself in bad situations. If that sounds like you, then this is something that you might need to listen to. The simple hero complex. And I feel like that's something that I deal with, the simple hero complex. Always trying to be the hero. While the simple hero complex tried to help a person out with their situation, chronic heroes, or those with the chronic hero syndrome, is centered more around themselves. They have to be the savior, even if it means creating situations to make them the heroes. You hear a lot about this, especially you've seen a lot of these in movies and TV shows where someone feels like that a team or feel like that a group of people can't do without them. So what they do is create situations to make it seem like that they're the heroes. They are more self-centered. So these are the type of people that are what I call chronic heroes or chronic hero syndrome. Some of the movies that I have watched that had the chronic heroes, Pelham 123 is a good movie. It has Denzel Washington and it has John Travolta, where John Travolta hijacked a subway train because he was trying to change people's minds because something happened to him in Wall Street and he lost a lot of money, and it happened to a lot of people. So what he did was hijack the train, and he made some demands because he was going to take the money and try to help people. He felt like that he was the hero in that movie when really he was the villain in that movie. Batman versus Superman is like a two-way hero syndrome. Both of them feel like that they was fighting for justice and fighting for good. So they ended up fighting each other even though they was on the same team because they felt like that they were the heroes in that movie. All American is a Netflix TV show about a high school football team, and the star on that team felt like that none of the teams could do without him because he was always trying to save people and always trying to be the hero. So he would put himself in situations that made it seem like that he was the hero when in reality he didn't have to. So that is some examples of movies and TV shows with the chronic hero syndrome. The stars of a sports team, as I just mentioned, there are a lot of people that are in sports that feels like that they are the star, that feels like that a team cannot do without them, and it might hurt a team, but they feel like they can't do without them, so they will create situations to make themselves the star. The significant other that feels like they must one up an ex. You have a lot of that going on. Significant other will hear about some of the things that an ex will do. So they will go above and beyond to try to prove themselves to be better than that ex. So a lot of times they create themselves as the hero of the situation when they don't have to. Next, you have someone that commits an irrational crime to save someone or save people. You hear this all the time in abusive relationships where a woman is being abused or have her life threatened, and a friend or someone that actually likes the woman and wants to be with the woman will step in and attack the person that threatens her, and they might wind up hurting the person really bad or killing them. And they think, well, I'm the hero in this situation, when in reality they don't realize the damage they done to that person's family or their own family. they could wind up in prison and they've been done hurt people that they love. And finally, you have the narcissist who plays the hero and the victim. The narcissists are the type of people that will do what's in their brain, do their own thing, whether it's hurtful or not, make it themselves like they're the hero, and then when they get called out, they play the victim, and they'll say things like, well, I did it because our relationship needed to be saved, or it was your fault because it hurt me, so that's why I did it. Unconsciously, they think they're the hero when in reality, all they're doing is causing pain and causing hurt. So those are people with the chronic hero syndrome. They create situations where they feel like that they're the hero when in reality they are doing nothing but causing pain and causing suffering. I'm going to take a break and I will be back in a moment. Welcome back to Motivation Inspired, where we are talking about the hero complex. Now, heroes most of the time will see what they think is the bright side of a situation, which causes them to overlook the actual reality of it. They will see what the person or the situation could be and try to fix it rather than accepting what that person or situation is. Now, I remember one time when I was dating or had just started dating this woman. She didn't have her own place. She was living with her grandmother because the places that she was living, she had got kicked out of. She was doing some drugs and hanging with the wrong person. And I started dating her, and she gave me a story saying that she wanted to do better and wanted to be better and all this stuff. So I could see the goodness in her, but I wasn't paying attention to the reality of the situation. We ended up dating for 2 years, and throughout those 2 years, it was a roller coaster. She would take advantage of my kindness, and she would do things behind my back. I'm not going to mention, but there was a lot of things that she did behind my back and lied about it. She was constantly, and I'm not saying that she wasn't trying, because there was a time where she actually started doing really good. But she would get around the wrong people, and she would do a lot of things behind my back. And she was living with me, and at the time I was in a dark place. So I was thinking, I'm helping this girl out. I'm helping her out. Everything is going to get better. But it got better at one time. Then things started plummeting, and it caused me to do some unsavory things that I should have never stepped foot in. And the situation just winded up really bad, and we ended up breaking up, and it was just awful. But me trying to be that hero, trying to save that person, put me in a bad way, a bad situation, and I went downhill. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not blaming her, because I made those choices to hang on when I should have let go. And because I didn't let go, it put me in bad ways. I had trust issues. I was self-conscious. I was finding myself doing things that I shouldn't have been doing. And it was just bad. So you got to be careful in trying to save people. Sometimes the best way to save a person is to let them go and let them figure out things on their own. Heroes will always feel justified in a situation they have supposedly fixed, no matter what the consequence. In that situation, everything that I did, I was thinking, well, it's making her better. I was being patient, so my patience is going to pay off, and I just felt justified. There was another situation where I was helping someone else out. It was a woman I was dating, and I was giving her money, constantly giving her money. She called it an allowance, and she was taking that allowance, and come to find out, she ended up moving in with another guy without telling me, and she was still constantly taking my money. And I know people probably like, oh, that would never be me, and you was dumb for doing that. And yeah, I may have been dumb, but it taught me a valuable lesson. You feel like that you're helping somebody, and you feel like everything that you're doing is justified. But what you're doing in reality is hurting. So you got to learn when to let people go. You got to learn to step up and learn when to let people go. Heroes, there come a time when you must realize that everyone and everything cannot be saved or don't want to be saved. There comes a time when, as bad as you don't want to, you must say no. If someone is causing you to be put in a bad situation, you have to come to terms with cutting people out of your life. I have came across and I have dealt with on my own throughout my years where I felt like I was helping someone. I felt like I was making them better when I was doing nothing but hurting. I had money at one time, and because I was helping a situation out, I winded up being broke. And it took me years to come out of that. You might love someone. You might really care about someone. And you could constantly do your best. But if that person is not changing, and I don't mean a person that is trying, I mean someone that always has an excuse of why they are failing, when in reality, they did it because they wanted to, and they feel like they could give you an excuse to say that they're doing better. And you wind up being the one hurt. I have friends that tell me all the time, if I hadn't dealt with that person, I wouldn't be in the situation that I'm in. I have said plenty of times, if I hadn't dealt with that person, I wouldn't be in the situation I'm in. You can't allow people to use you no matter how much you care about them. Even family. People a lot of times are so big on families. Well, they're your blood. Well, they're your blood. But families can hurt you too. A lot of times worse than people that you date or people that you don't know. You got to learn to say no, and you got to learn to cut bait. There comes a time where you have to save your energy, save your vibe, save your peace. And if you can't do that, you're always going to wind up in a situation where you're hurting, where you're mistrustful, where you end up hurting your personality, all because you couldn't let go of a person. You can't be the hero in every situation. And sometimes being the hero means learning when to walk away. So, remember, make sure that if you're trying to help someone, whether it is family, whether it is friends, or whether it's relationships, learn when to cut bait and go, and learn when to keep holding on. And don't let people use the excuse, oh, well, you gave up on me. Oh, are you going to give up on me? Because a lot of people that don't want to be saved will use that excuse. Don't let them use that excuse. First and foremost, always protect your peace. Heroes, people with the hero complexes. And I said a lifestyle vampire like to prey on those with hero complexes. That's because we're so blinded by our feelings for a person or the time we've been with people that we cover up what is reality. And the reality is we are being used. Hero complexes. I hope you enjoyed this show today. Some announcements. I need more listeners. I need 50 listeners to subscribe to my podcast. So please like and share with people and tell them what you think. Go to my business page on Facebook, Motivation LLC. That's MOE2VATION LLC. If you don't have a Facebook, you can go directly to the link fb.me/MOE2VATION23. That is fb.me/motivation23. Go and like the page and subscribe to the page, and I will always give updates on when my next podcast will be posting. I need people to listen, like and share. Tell people what you think about it. I need feedback also. Give me feedback on what you think, what I could do better. Positive feedback now. Don't give negative, and don't give no stuff that is not going to help me to do better. Because again, I am still learning. I'm still trying to get the hang of this podcasting. I will be wrestling in North Pontotoc, Mississippi on August the 27th at OWO Show. So if you can be there, that will be awesome. Bell time is at 7:30. We have had about 4 great shows, and they have been packed out. And I guarantee you, whether you like wrestling or not, you will have fun if you go. Or at least bring your kids and let them have fun. That is at North Pontotoc, Mississippi on August the 27th. Bell time is at 7:30. And I always do a binge song of the week, a song that I have binged because I'm a binge listener. I will listen to a song over and over. So the YouTube binge song of the week is Papa Roach's Last Resort. One of my wrestling buddies, that's what he comes out to, is Last Resort by Papa Roach. So if you're a music person, go and listen to it. Make sure you get the clean version if you don't like cussing. On the next episode of Motivation Inspired, I will discuss a very important topic: the importance and knowledge of energy. I have just now really started learning how important energy is. Some people call it vibes. Some people call it spirit. But it is going to be a very important topic, and I urge you to listen. Get a friend and tell them to listen. Please subscribe to my page, and I hope you're enjoying. If you want to give me feedback, you can go to my business page and send me an instant message, and I will try to tend to it as soon as I can. And that is all for my show today. Thank you for your continued support. This is Curtis Moore, a.k.a. Curly Mo, or you can call me Mo, hoping to motivate or inspire your life one more time. Have a blessed day.